Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. I was about to say, I hope you see us. Welcome to this unboxing webinar, where we reveal our latest creation, the Arqus Underwater camera. We can switch to the presentation, perhaps. Great. So, my name is Magnus. I'm here with my colleague Carl.
Yep.
And then we have Johan on chat to answer any question that may arise. So during the presentation, don't hesitate to ask any question you may have. You'll find the Q&A button somewhere in the controls of Zoom. Click that, type a question, and Johan will answer as soon as he can. The agenda for today, we will start off with a quick introduction to why underwater motion capture, what you may want to use that for. Then we will proceed with the actual unboxing event. So starting there, the main use case, the main area of use for underwater motion capture, it's object tracking. Basically, any underwater object, may it be autonomous underwater vehicles, remotely operated vehicles, or structures, pipelines. There's a lot of research, lot of development that's being done where tracking the actual object is very useful during both development and that's ground truth. The system provides position and orientation of objects that has markers attached to it. And it's been used now for more than 10 years. It's more than 10 years since we launched the first underwater camera. But we should not forget about the study of swimmers, biomechanical studies of swimmers, primarily the start and turn. So measuring the dive in is particularly useful if you combine an above water camera system with an underwater camera system. And you get both the flight path and the underwater dive. Also the turn, it's complex motion with the possibility to shave hundreds, maybe tenths of seconds. So that's something that is being studied as well. And lastly, we're a bit excited to see what will come out of underwater animation. It has gotten some attention lately, and by actually capturing the performance in water, the realism of movement should be able to be improved compared to simulating underwater motions on land. So these are three main areas where underwater motion capture definitely can benefit, and just wanted to give you a brief overview of that before we become a bit technical, a bit camera oriented, but that's what we're here for. So with that said, just summarizing a bit, these are examples of what customers today use our underwater camera systems for. So AUVs, RUVs get a lot of attention. It's a very common research area, development area. But also studying mooring lines, how they behave depending on the load, pipelines when they cross from the ocean bed up to land, how are they affected with currents, other things. Windmill structures, fishing nets, the list is long of objects that is being studied. And the images you see here, it's some examples of what customers today use the system for. Now, let's turn to what's in front of us.
Yep. What's in the box?
What's in the box? Let's switch to full screen video. There we go. So in front of me here, we've got a nice case. It's on wheels, which makes it easy to carry or at least move around. But let's pop this one open and see what we got. So this is what it looks like. Let me show it a bit to you. It contains 3 Arcus underwater cameras, along with the needed accessories to get those running. So if I bring up one of the cameras, this is what it looks like. And I will hand over to Carl, and he can take you through some of the details of it.
Yeah, so this is what it looks like. And for those of you that are familiar with the Arqus underwater camera, it's about half the weight and half the size, which makes it easier to fit into basins. It's made out of stainless steel and polycarbonates to reduce the risk of corrosion. It has different mounting points, so to aim it up and down, you adjust these mount points here, and to rotate it, you use this mounting point. Looking at the strobe, it's very powerful. It's about twice as powerful as the Magnus strobe. And considering that the Magnus has a wider field of view as well, makes the strobe even more powerful within its field of view. It has the same LED indicators as the ordinary Arcus camera. So prepare that cable here. So like that, you can see that it's powered on and has started the boot process. The connector is recessed, which makes the cable stick out shorter behind the camera, which makes it possible to mount the camera closer to the wall. Also, I should mention that with the delivery, there is also this plastic spanner tool, which is used to tighten the connector. And obviously, this is more important when you are in actual water. And when it skips, then it's tight enough. Right.
Great. Yep, and knowing some of the inside as well, it's a great piece of engineering, and it's nice to take 10 years of experience in the field and get that into product. Yep. Let's look at the slide a bit again. Just summarizing what we went through and adding a bit of detail. So like Carl mentioned, it's made of stainless steel and polycarbonates, giving it strong corrosion resistance. It's been engineered for smallest possible size and weight to make it easy to handle and to fit nicely in the pool. We've also learned a bit on adjustments of the camera. So the way its orientation and angling is done is different from before, which we believe will be very useful used in the real world. The strobe, as mentioned, underwater, we measure on passive reflective markers, so the output power of the strobe is critical. So we really beefed that up compared to the Magnus underwater camera, as well as the 7+ underwater cameras. This gives you longer measurement distances and a more uniform illumination of the field of view. And by making sure that indicator LEDs are available, it's easy to see what the cameras are up to in each point in time. The connector, it's recessed to minimize the distance from the wall that the camera needs to be mounted in. And a very nice thing, we will get back to this during the presentation, but we reused all of the components from the Arqus Underwater to the Arqus Underwater. So they share the same cables, they share the same connection units, and they also share mounting, which we will take a look at very shortly. But it's very good. It makes it easy to mix and match Arqus and Arqus cameras in the same setup. Looking at camera models, so what we are launching with the new Arcus platform is two cameras. It's the A9 and the A12 Underwater. And they go alongside with the existing Arqus M3 and M5 and the full HD color video camera that we all also have. So 5 different cameras. Yeah. Maybe you want to elaborate a bit on how to select the proper one for each project.
Yeah, sure. So Arcus is primarily for larger volumes with that kind of powerful strobe and longer measurement distances. Arcus are for smaller volumes with a wider field of view, which makes it easier to cover a small volume. Also worth considering is the image format of the different models. So you can see that the M3 and the A9 have a more rectangular field of view compared to the A12 and M5, which are more square. And then depending on your measurement volume, it might be better to choose a rectangular camera model or a more square model.
Yeah. So for example, if you're in a shallow pool, you may be best off with the A9 or the M3 that has a rectangular view. While if you have a deeper tank, you may want to cover a lot of depth. The square M5 or the 4.3 A12 might be a good choice.
Yeah.
And in terms of frame rate, 3 other cameras, they go about 300 frames per second, which is plenty in underwater scenarios. And then also the M5 at 180 is usually more than enough for this type of movements that is usually being studied underwater. We also indicate measurement distances, and they are measured in clear water with 19mm sized markers. And you can view them as an indication of the kind of capture distance that is possible, but it's very much dependent on water quality and sometimes other factors as well. But at least they give a good indication in between the different camera models on how they perform in measurement distances. Right, with that said, let's go back to live. Perhaps before we move into mounting, I can just show one of the pieces in the package that we didn't show before. So you got 3 cameras. You also got this, which is the connection unit, as it's called. This one is used to connect 3 cameras, Arcus or Arqus cameras. They can be mixed. And you can also daisy chain these connection units in series, or you can connect them in a star fashion, all dependent on what's most suitable for the lab. But this is included in the package, also along with the power supply for 3 cameras. Right, now with that said, let's move to mounting. Yep.
This is our latest mount for underwater cameras. It's the quick attach mount, we call it. It consists of 2 different parts. This part, which you permanently mount to the wall in the basin. As you can see, it's very small. So you can easily have it in the basin without it interfering with other activities in the basin. And then we have this part. You mount the camera here, and then you just mount this part with the camera on it onto the wall mount, and then you just tighten it like that, and you're done. We have prepared a little bit with a Mikus camera on the mount here, and on the wall here we have two base mounts mounted on the wall. So we just mount it like that, and then just tighten, screw like that, and we're done. And we also have a version for Arcus, which looks very similar, and it works in exactly the same way. Just tighten it like that, and we're done. Pretty simple.
Yep, and it combines the sturdiness that you want with flexible and easy operations, which is really nice. So when installing, you do this, you rotate and you angle the cameras to cover the volume that you want. You fix the screws, and then it's easy. Just loosen this one and bring both the mount and the camera out of water. What remains in the pool is slick. It doesn't protrude much. And when you want to go again, you touch the same camera in the same spot, and you don't need to worry about orienting the camera in any way. So hopefully this will be a nice way to work with the system. It's I was about to say small things like mounting, angling, that you come to appreciate once you've used it in real life for some time. Great. Let's go back to the slides and summarize. So these are the options, with Arcus and Mikus being a different length. So the mounts are slightly different in length, but they mount to the wall in the same way. We recommend the rightmost version, so the quick attach plate that we just showed. That you can, that makes your installation more flexible and easier to adapt in the future. But we also offer a permanent mount solution where you bolt the camera bracket directly to the wall. But going for the plate, they are affordable. So you can have twice the number of plates or 3 times the number of plates installed in your pool or your basin compared to the number of cameras that you have. For example, you may have a larger volume that you sometimes want to cover. Other times you may want to focus at a smaller volume. So that means that you can have mounting points for both options. And this illustrates how the camera is adjusted. So you have one adjustment for sideways orientation, and you have another one for vertical up-down adjustments. And for the Arcus camera, you have different mount points. So 2 mount points for portrait mode, 2 for landscape mode, depending on kind of how your volume is made out to get the best coverage. Right. With that said, before we wrap up, this illustrates a bit how a system is connected, and it goes along the lines of how it used to be. But yeah, maybe you want to take us through it, Carl?
Yeah, sure. So you can connect 3 cameras to one connection unit, and you can mix Arcus and Mikus as you like. The connection units can be daisy chained, or you can connect them directly to the computer or to an Ethernet switch. And they are powered by a 24-volt power supply. And well, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So it's quite clean, quite straightforward. And wanted to take the opportunity and show this image. This is from a very recent or ongoing installation, I should say, where we install Arcus underwater cameras in a towing tank. So they are fixed to the wall. On the carriage, there are above water cameras that's being towed together with the vessel. They also have video cameras, so Magnus video underwater and above water to make documentation and also video overlay, where you can overlay 3D data onto the video image to make it easy to understand, to make it easy to know what you measured on. In this case, they had the possibility to drain the tank before installing the cameras, which of course makes installation easier. But quite often we do install cameras in already filled basins as well.
And I think they are using the new mount that we just showed.
Yes.
And they have used the option to have some extra mounting points to have the flexibility to change the setup.
Exactly. And you never know what kind of requirements your installation will face in the future. So it's better to add a few more points to make it more versatile down the road. Right. With that said, let's summarize. We've got Arcus Underwater. That's for your large volumes, for maximum range. Arcus Underwater, very useful and very suitable for smaller tanks. And full HD color video camera. It's very useful to get documentation, to be able to do video overlay, for example. We have a lot of more information on these products on our website, so go to qualisys.com and check it out. We are shipping Arcus Underwater already, so if you have any thoughts and interest to get more insights in the possibilities, please reach out to your sales representative or to sales@qualisys.com, and we'll be happy to help you out to find the most suitable solution. With that, I think we've basically shown you what we wanted to do today. Johan will stay on the chat for some more time. So if you have questions, just ask them. We will turn off the camera feed, but stay on the chat for some more time. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon.
Yeah, thank you.